Hey Colts fans, I'm JJ Stankevitz. Welcome into another episode of the Colts Show, an Indianapolis Colts podcast. We are back, and I would be remiss if I did not begin this episode by offering my condolences and my thoughts and my prayers to the entire Irsay family, everyone who knew Mr. Irsay. It's been a difficult couple of weeks around here on 56th Street. The way that Jim Irsay impacted this city and this organization, it's hard to even fathom because we don't know everything. I mean, the amount of people who he impacted without any cameras around, without any press, without even, Pete Ward knowing, it was immense. And the thing that I just keep going back to with all the tributes that have come out to him has been just the generosity and the massive heart that he had for people and for this city and for this organization. It's been tough. And I know Jeffrey Gorman did an outstanding job memorializing Mr. Irsay, paying tribute to him on his podcast. That's already out on all platforms. That came out on Tuesday on High Volume, so please check that out. Really powerful, impactful words from someone in Jeffrey who knew Mr. Irsay very, very well. This is kind of our transition into, we are going to still talk about football, but I would be remiss if I didn't open this episode with a couple of words. And I've thought about this a lot. So when I started with the Colts, I came here in 2021, and I moved my family from Chicago to Indianapolis. And it's not for nothing. I mean, picking your family up and moving because of your job, that's a lot of pressure. I put a lot of pressure on myself to, make this the right spot, make the Colts the right spot. And one of those moments where I knew I was in the right spot was late in 2021. My good friend Jeff Dickerson, who used to cover the Bears for ESPN, he died of colon cancer. And JD had 2 years prior lost his wife to cancer. They left behind their son, Parker. And there was a GoFundMe for Parker, to support him in this horrible tragedy that he had endured with losing both of his parents to cancer. And I mentioned it to Gorman. We were doing an official Colts podcast, and Jeffrey gave me the space to kind of talk about JD a little bit and what he meant to me and, my career and my friendship with him. And I mentioned, hey, there's this GoFundMe. If anyone listening wants to support it, go ahead. So that was probably 10 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday. And then later that night, I checked the GoFundMe, and I saw there was a sizable donation from Jim Irsay to it. And I was just like overwhelmed and overcome with, I cannot believe that me taking this job and, me being here in Indianapolis has helped support Parker because of Mr. Irsay. And that was the moment, where I was like, you know what? I made the right decision. I'm with an organization that's going to take care of its people, that's going to take care of people who need help. And it was one of those moments that I'll never forget. And I'll never forget just the generosity that he showed someone who meant something to me. And I know I'm sure people listening to this, watching this, have their own personal stories of how Mr. Irsay impacted them. I've seen so many of them come through with the hashtag #ThankYouJimIrsay on social media of, things he did big and small for people. And, above else too, this guy freaking brought a Lombardi trophy to Indianapolis. He's the reason why the Colts are here, why Lucas Oil Stadium and the Indianapolis Colts are here. He's the reason why I'm here then, if we're all kind of extending that. So you cannot minimize the impact he had. I think the tributes that have gone out to him by, former players, coaches, current players, they've been so impactful. And I think it's been very fulfilling to see the NFL community come together for Mr. Irsay and to kind of, I think a lot of people maybe outside of Indianapolis have they've maybe seen the impact that he's had on this city, on the people who've come through this organization on so many individuals. And I think that's been kind of cool to see on like a national scale, the way that he is being remembered. We're going to miss him a lot. And, it's going to be a season of remembering him and honoring his legacy, which is so impactful and so deep. I wrote about it on Colts.com, just the way that he impacted so many people, so many lives in Indiana, across the country. It's really impactful. But I do want to talk a little football. And, it feels weird to almost make the transition back in. But we are in OTAs. We do have a big season upcoming here. And this podcast is going to, we're back. We're here to talk about the Colts. And I'm excited that today on the podcast we're bringing Josh Downs on. Had a really good chat with him. My chat with Josh happened probably 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. So it was before Mr. Irsay died. It also notably, you'll see, it was before the Pacers Knicks series got started. So we kind of talked about that a little bit at the end. But a really good chat with Josh Downs. And next week coming up on the podcast, I had a really good chat with James Franklin, Penn State's head coach, talking about Tyler Warren. So that's going to be next week. And I'm going to get back into my thoughts maybe about this football team, probably not next week's podcast. But again, wanted to open this podcast just talking about Jim Irsay. Again, my condolences to his wonderful family, Carly, Kaylin, Casey, all of their spouses, all of their kids. We all have so much love for Mr. Irsay here, and that'll never change. So anyways, let's get to my chat with Colts wide receiver Josh Downs. All right, it is my pleasure to be joined here on the Colts Show by wide receiver Josh Downs. Josh, man, year 3 for you here, doing OTAs, doing off-season work. What's maybe something you've been able to hone in on a little bit more now that you've got a couple years of experience under your belt at this point in the year?
Yeah, at this point in the year, just big, I've noticed, is just keep getting your body, as healthy as possible. And also just getting better, getting faster, stronger, perfecting your craft. But for me, the biggest thing is just getting completely healthy and honing in on that, because when the season comes around, you're going to have nicks, bumps here and there. So it's you don't have time to take a week off during the season. You got to just go and go and go. So right now is doing all the rehab possible to just get to that next level, make sure your body's in a good shape.
So, what does that sort of rehab look like for you?
I mean, right now, we have a great training staff, so I'm in there early and then staying after. I just got done in there a few minutes ago, and then just doing ice bath, cryo, getting acupuncture, massages, anything possible to help. And then one big thing I do is I just try to catch as many passes as I can every day.
Is that something like that time commitment of doing all this stuff? This is something I remember I talked with Quiddy and Buck about it a couple of years ago. Just people who aren't in professional football, and you obviously grew up in a family, where your dad played.
Yeah.
They don't understand that extra time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I think people just don't see the midweek stuff.
Yeah.
How many hours a day are you putting in that training room at this point in the year, and then obviously during the season that maybe just no one else really sees?
Yeah, right now I would assume at least 2 hours plus a day I'm in there, coming in an hour plus before the lift, and then we get done 1 o'clock, and I usually don't leave till 3:30, 4 every day. So spending a lot of time in there and just trying to get my body right. So it's kind of like any job. If you want to be good at it, you got to spend extra time. You can't just we start at 9, leave at 1. You can do that, but I feel like that's the bare minimum at the end of the day. You put in what you get out what you put in. So it's if you don't put in extra work, you're not going to see extra results.
This is your 3rd year going through installs with Shane, with Jim Bob, with Reggie, that offensive coaching staff. How do you digest a basic install right now?
Oh yeah. So for me, year 3, as you said, so pretty much know the offense in and out. It's just mainly now there's little things that you might I remember that, but I also didn't. So let me write this down so that when the time comes in the season, you're not what's the split on this play, or I forgot the snap count. So you just know specific things that you can just look at and really fine tune in detail, and then Just making sure your routes are great and catching the ball is main thing as a receiver. So for me, like right now, like we install and we do run the routes and run through some plays, but I'm like every day is like, all right, catch extra passes. So those little focus drops and like when you get tired, like you're not in a game like exhausted and drop a pass, like not like, oh, I already caught 150, 200 balls a day in the off season, so it's gonna pay off right now.
I want to ask you about a catch you had last year. It was your first touchdown of the season, and this kind of is going to go into the, like, how many balls are you catching, right? Mm-hmm. So you run kind of a little out and in. You kind of feel some space. You're right on the goal line. It's like 3rd and 4. And you catch it, and Patrick Queen, linebacker on the Steelers, big physical dudes, kind of coming down at you. Mm-hmm. Kind of walk me through this play, because he pops you, and you hang onto the ball crossing the goal line. How are you feeling that linebacker, and what do you have to do to be able to make that catch in a game setting?
Yeah, so basically, like the route, like the coaches detail it up so where there will be an opening in that area, and basically, like it was me and Pitt running like a 2-man concept, and it was going to be based off what that corner does, and the corner dropped off on Pitt, so the underneath was open, but yeah, basically that's an awareness thing on the field. You gotta, it's weird, like they call it like spidey senses, I guess, just being able to like you can't see the person, but you like I know somebody's around here somewhere because they're not just going to leave this space void. And then when you feel that void, staying in it and not just running to the next window where you'll get covered. And then after that is when the ball does come to you, like the defender's trying to knock your head off. So at that point, it's moving your body into the correct spot to where I can take this hit and hold on to the ball. And then also just a way to absorb the hit in a manner like, all right, I'm not going to take a hit straight to the head or like take a ear hole shot. It's like, nah, I'm going to turn my back. So I might feel it still, but at the end of the day, the ball's on the front side of me, so I can hit my back, still land, and come down with it.
What does it feel like to make that catch and then pop right back up and celebrate? I mean, I don't think anyone watching this, unless they're also an NFL player, knows what it's like to get hit by a 240-pound linebacker like you did on that play.
Nah, it's in the moment you're like, okay, touchdown surreal. Like it's a blessing to get in that end zone. It's hard even to get on the field and make a catch. It's very hard. So you forget about all that right after that. But you gonna feel it the next morning. That's really when it all kicks in. You wake up and you're like, oh, my back kind of hurt. It's like, oh, I did kind of get in a car accident right there. So it's like in the moment you're just like, okay, I scored. Like thank you, and then you celebrate with your teammates.
Your dad played running back. I mean, I'm sure he had every week he probably felt like that. Mm-hmm. How did he sort of coach you up of like how to play through pain and just those things that accumulate throughout a season?
Yeah, so when I was younger, me and my brother, my dad was just like basically like, y'all can play running back now, but y'all not playing running back as your main position. That's what he told us. Like that's a position you get banged up too much. He was like, he's like, you're gonna go through injuries in football anyways. And he's like, at running back, I don't want y'all to have to go through what I went through. But yeah, basically just teaching us toughness, not to be like if of course people are injured and you can't help that, but there's times when you can have a minor injury that I could sit out, but it's like I know I can play through this. So it's like it's a mental game. It's like mind over matter. So just always being hard on me and my brother, being tough, like, and teaching us like, even if you're sore, work through that soreness. Even if you got a little pain, work through that. And I always try to like remember like a little phrase: pain builds power. You keep working through that pain, eventually you're gonna see the end of the tunnel.
And it's like one of those things where if it's not gonna get worse by you playing, does that help you just kind of like mentally say, okay, yeah, I can go through this?
Yeah, 100%. Like if you just know like the injury's not, like check with the trainers and all that. If you know like, okay, you do have this and it's gonna hurt a little bit, but eventually it'll go away, then it's like, okay, but like then there's the side of it. You can make this worse, and then it's like, okay, that is true. I can still play through it, but then there's a side of like, all right, I can't play through this and it'll get worse. That's when you gotta take a step back and really get in the treatment room, rehab, and all that.
So your dad told you, hey, don't play running back.
Yeah.
So you play wide receiver. Mm-hmm. Your brother goes to the defensive side of the ball. Take me through the backyard at the Downs household with you and Caleb going at it as kids.
Yeah, well, we both played offense and defense growing up, and our dad was main person working us out all the time. So my brother is like an excellent running back. That's what a lot of people don't know. Like I firmly.
Well, he's a great punt returner, so I could see it. Yeah,
literally. And he's like, if he wanted to go to college and play running back, I think there was a few schools that were just like, yeah, he can do that. But I'm talking about phenomenal running back, one of the best I've ever seen. But my dad was just like, oh, he has a knack for tackling. He used to play linebacker when he was younger, but he was like, I don't know. I mean, he's like, I don't know how big he's gonna be to play linebacker. So I kind of transitioned him to safety nickel, and I mean, it's been working out really well. He's always had that knack for tackling, which helps as a DB because like there's always that stereotype like, oh, DBs and corners don't want to tackle, but like now he had that knack for tackling, but now he just had to build those coverage skills, and it just like flowed very well.
Do you like say anything to him before games? Do you like send him a text or, anything like that?
Yeah, so I do. My brother is very like superstitious kind of. He doesn't like text anybody back before his games. He don't, but he reads the message. So I always send him a good luck text and then talk to him after the game. But before the games, he's one of the most like laser focused people I've ever seen. He's locked in on what he has to do, and he knows what he got to do. So my mom, my dad, we all talk about like he ain't answering nobody on game day, but we still send like the good luck text. But I'm the opposite. Like my parents text me and all that, and I'm texting them back and all that. So we just a little different.
Does it drive you nuts to watch football like on TV, like a TV broadcast? Because he plays safety, and sometimes those TV broadcasts you can't see the safeties as soon as the ball's snapped. Like, how do you watch your brother play?
Yeah. Oh, I always before the snap, I always see where he is, and then I pan to the like, of course, the main snap and all that. But I always know when he makes a play because I always know where he is at the beginning of the play, and then play happens, goes through, and I can tell what he did or what he didn't do, and then I go from there. But yeah, whatever team he's on, I'm number one fan of that team. When he played for Alabama, I was screaming at the TV, and now he's on Ohio State, and I was doing the same thing last year.
Did you go to the championship game?
I did. I went to the championship game. I went to the rivalry game when they played Michigan, and I was supposed to go to the Cotton Bowl, but my flight got canceled, so it was like snowing in Georgia, and funny thing about Georgia, when they get snow, they don't know what to do.
They're not prepared.
Yeah, they're not prepared. So they get an inch of snow and everything is just it's over with. So
what was your view of watching him win a championship? Like, how did you as his brother sort of see that?
Yeah, I mean it was surreal. I was very excited for him. Like really, he's like his successes. I'm just as happy, if not more happy, when he achieves a lot of things, and when they won the national championship, him being a big role in that, I was very happy. I mean, I was in the stands cheering, yelling. When Notre Dame was coming back, I'm almost having a heart attack. I'm like, come on, like let's get it together. And but yeah, it was surreal. I was very excited for him, and I mean, I'm very excited for that team. A lot of great players on that team, and I know that they worked for it, and they built that roster, and it was good to see them win that.
Do you I don't know how much you did this when you were coming out, but do you pay attention to mock drafts now at all that have him as this guy's gonna go top 10? He could be the first safety going in the top 10 since Jamal Adams. Do you pay attention to any of that?
So as of right now, I haven't as much, but I do know he's in those talks. I would just assume he's in those talks. I see a couple TikTok, Twitter videos talking about him all the time and saying oh, he's generational, this, that, and the third, and I do see that. So I'm gonna, of course, everybody sees those things, so I'm gonna see him. But the thing about pre-draft is it's a lot of people judging here and there, good and bad. Everybody's just critiquing you. So as he's my little brother, so sometimes I'm get a little defense. I'm like who you talking about? But I'm just yeah, I don't want to see some of that stuff. But I know he's gonna kill it. He's gonna be prepared. He's gonna have a great year. And everything's going to work out.
What do you remember about your pre-draft process? And, did you have to tune out everything that was said about you? Or did you maybe see, oh, this person said this negative thing about me. That's not right. I'm going to use that as motivation. How did you kind of handle that?
A little bit of both. So different people handle things different ways. I definitely did a little bit of both. But you can't look at all of it. Because if you look at all of it, you could start, thinking, oh, dang, maybe they're right. Or, somebody could be boosting you up a lot, and you're I am this. And so it's you got to use it both good and bad, but you can't look at it all day, every day. It's impossible not to see it unless you're just not on social media at all. But I would say, just try to minimize that, especially when you're coming out.
Do you ever think back on that, that process to where you're at now, having, broke a Colts record as a rookie, led the team in receptions last year. Like, do you ever think about that now that you've had some success in the league?
Yeah, I think about it because I'm like, man, time just flies by. I'm like, I'm already on year 3, and I just remember like being younger. It's like was the main thing was like I just want to go to the NFL, and I'm like, it's year 3 now, and I'm like, pre-draft is one of the most. It's a very exciting time for you. You're not in school. You're just working out for like 2.5, 3 months. It's a surreal moment. Just work out, go home, relax, and you're like, dang, I got this down period of time, but then you hit the ground running. You got no time to waste, and when teams like draft you high, they expect you to come in there and contribute early. So pre-draft is a great time. I think back on it all the time. Guys I worked out with, and I'm just like, man, that was an incredible time.
What has it been like for you? I mean, you grew up in a football family. Your family's you got Caleb, you got your dad, you got Dre Bly, but like being coached by Reggie Wayne, what has that experience been like for you now, 3 years into being coached by a guy who's, his name's on the building, he should be in the Hall of Fame, a guy of his caliber?
Yeah, I mean, it's I've always said I wanted to have a coach that played, and having a guy like him it comes with a level of respect. Just like he been there, done that, so it's cool to be able to just ask a coach like, what would you do here in this situation, and he's really done it before, so that's probably the main part for me, just being able to like be like, hey coach, like they're playing this kind of defense, I'm trying to run this route, what would you do? He explains it, I'm okay, I understand that, and then try it out for yourself, and then just again having a guy of that caliber, it comes with a level of respect, like, all right, he's seen a lot, he's done a lot, and like if he believes in you, it's like really don't matter a lot of other people who don't believe in you, because he's been there, done that.
Well, sometimes like the best players don't always make the best coaches, because they're like, well, I did it this way, so this is the only way to do it. But I've never got that impression from Reggie that like he's ever even, like you can go ask him like, hey, how would you do this? But he's never been like, hey, the way I did it, which was special, it got him 14,000 yards, is the only way to do it. I think that must be a special trait that he has as a coach, to where he can lean on his experience, but it's not the only way to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, just because he's a player, he understands everybody's different. So he like, it's not like, hey, you do this release and you do the same release, because people have different movements, and he understands that. So like he's one guy that's not like, hey, everybody needs to do this release and you need to run the route this way. It's like some people don't have the same feet, some people don't have the same hands, so it's like you got to be able to cater to your players, and I think he does a good job of that.
Are you a goals guy, like a personal goals guy?
I used to be more. I am now. I try to I'm like big, like a lot, like just growing up in my faith and all that. I try to just do the work beforehand, and I'm a firm believer that God will take care of the rest. So for me, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna put the work in beforehand. When my opportunity comes, it's gonna come. But I mean, of course, personal goals, like, yeah, I want 1,000 yards and doing stuff in that nature. But I just believe that whenever the opportunity comes to me, and however many opportunities that is, I got to just take advantage of it.
And that's like, the 1,000 yards come from you setting the goals like down here, right? Yeah, like the
work and all that stuff beforehand. Like, I'm going to do extra here, extra there. So when those opportunities do come, like I can put those opportunities into fruition and really make the plays.
Okay, last one for you here. So was the first time you went to Indianapolis for the Combine?
Yeah, well, Indianapolis. I played Notre Dame one time in South Bend, but that's not Indianapolis.
It's not
so,
Indianapolis.
Yeah, the first time was the Combine.
Okay, so you've lived here now for 3 years. What has seeing what the Pacers are doing right now, what has that taught you about this city?
Yeah, so I have definitely been keeping track of the Pacers. I'm definitely.
You've been saying Pacers in 5.
I think the Pacers are gonna beat the Knicks in 6 or 7, in my opinion, and I think it'll be the Pacers and the OKC in the finals. I don't know who's gonna win the finals, but I do think it'll be Pacers and OKC. They're more similar teams than people want to admit. They're both very young. They've run. They got a lot of dudes that can score. So I'm interested in how that final series will play out. I believe they can beat OKC. So, but it shows how the city will get behind the team's back, and you making plays, you out there balling, like they're gonna be right there with you. Like they pack out the stadium just as good as the Knicks do. So, I love to see it, and I really think the Pacers can make a deep run, even win it. So,
is that like inspirational for you at all to like see hey, like, Pacers are doing this. This is how the city gets behind them. Let's go do that for us with the Colts. Like,
yeah, you definitely want to follow suit to that. You don't want to be like even the WNBA team. They're very good
the Fever.
now,
Yeah,
too.
they're
so
awesome.
It's like, you don't want to be the person left behind. It's like, well, they're handling theirs, so it's like we got to do the same. And like we got a bigger stadium. It's like, and it would bring even more fans. So it's like, well, they're setting the stage right now. It's like we come in later in the year, and we gotta finish it off.
That's cool. Josh Downs, appreciate your time, man. Here on the podcast.
Thank you.
All right, thanks again to Josh Downs for joining me here on the Colts Show. Remember, tune in to High Volume with Jeffrey Gorman, a really special episode this week talking about the life and legacy of Jim Irsay, paying tribute to Jim Irsay. That podcast, again, is already out on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, wherever you get your Colts podcasts. Go check that out. I will be back next week with Penn State head coach James Franklin. Had a really insightful chat about Tyler Warren and the kind of impact he can make. I will also bring the Colts Show mailbag back next week. Submit your questions. Remember, you can get those in on Colts.com/mailbag. You can submit them in the YouTube comments for this episode, or you can send them to me on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, however you want to get at me. You can find me on those platforms. And again, we'll be back next week here on the Colts Show. Until then, so long. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.